morning, family. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. For you who's watching this later, this live is about helping you not to give up. Helping you not to give up. You may be good, cool. Someone else that you are connected to, or someone who you can reach that I can't. If you simply share to connect and reach those individuals I cannot, I would greatly appreciate it. Because it is someone who you know, who you connected to, who you can reach that I cannot, is possibly considering giving up. Hopefully not on life, but some on life. In their personal life, their career, whatever it is. And I want my attempt here is to be used to provide you, whether it's a resource, direction, encouragement, motivation, insight, wisdom, whatever it is that will keep you from giving up, or keep them from giving up. So I see one of you who is in attendance right now. Good morning. Pop or Jam. Good morning. So this live is my goal here is to help any of you who's considering giving up. In whatever area it is, your professional life, your personal life, hopefully not your life altogether. So, are any of you thinking about giving up? If you don't mind me asking, what area of your life? 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 Is there anyone here, just one who's considering or thinking about giving up? Because life is what it is, good and bad. They both come sometimes simultaneously, sometimes different seasons. All right, when things are good, when things are going smooth, no turbulence in our life, it's like we operate at our best in terms of just seizing the moments, taking advantage of it. But what happens when things get bad, when things get like extremely difficult? Then what? Do we consider giving up then? Are you in the season of your life where things are really good right now? I want to give you a heads up. At some point, things aren't going to be so great. How do you normally handle life when it seems like catching hands from every which way? Like you can't win for losing. The famous term, when it rains, it pours. what happens in that season of your life. And by the way, I'm gonna throw this out there, it just hit me. We say when it rains, it pours, right? So we also know that in agriculture, in the agriculture space, rain, like crops and things like that, when it rains, it provide the crops with the nourishments it needs. And then when it's no longer raining and God causes the sun to come out, like something happens in that process. So when we say it pours in our life, is it safe to assume that in that storm, in that season, in the dark cloudiness of our day-to-day, can we assume that something is happening in that process, like some type of growth, like some type of nourishment? Something is taking place in the dark that we can't see, that we don't know, that we are unaware of. So we know when things are difficult, the hardships and the struggles, it stretches us. It's uncomfortable. Like what if we're in a shell? Whatever that seed is inside of us, it's in seed form, it's in a shell, and the storms that we go through in life, what if when it rains, it pours in our life that cause more discomfort and stretching? What if something is growing inside of us? What if God is trying to birth something inside of us that further helps us to become? So when it's sunny, like it's marvelous, it's beautiful, like we love it. Meaning when things are great, we love it, right? Too much sun, right? It's like when it come down to some of the crops, if it's too hot, it'll kill it. Like they'll die, right? So it's not really no growth there. So when things are going great and lovely in our life, is it safe to assume that there's no growth and there's like, yeah, we enjoying, but like if it's always good, we never grow, we never get better, we never become, because it's in the dark seasons, the rainy seasons in our life, that where it's the water and it's the sunlight that produces growth, development, maturity, right? So my point is, when we are going through rainy seasons in our life, where we want it to stop, the hardships, the difficulties, the discomfort, we want it to stop. We beg God for this season to pass from us. But that is probably the most important season that we always go through in life. It is the growth process. It is the growth process. So for you who are going through it right now, know that it's a purpose and a reason why you're going through this stormy season in your life. Because God knows what's on the other side. He know the harvest that you are going to reap, that is caused by the struggles and the hardship as you grow and develop. Like He know what that field, that harvest field look like that's for you. So it's encouragement there. Like, I mean, I don't know. Like, it's encouragement there. Like it may sound good, but it don't feel good. It's the discomfort. But that's the good part. So if you're going through it right now, like, are you considering giving up in this season of your go through? Like, what are you experiencing in your life where you ready to tap out? Were you ready to throw in a towel? Were you ready to give up? What is it that have you to a point where it's like you don't want to fight no more? You're exhausted. You rather just go with the flow and see what happens. What is that thing that's happening in your life that's beating you down, that have you stressed out and depressed? What is that? What does that season look like for you right now? And how long have you been going through it? Have you tried everything? Or are you just like, you know what? It is what it is. See, when in God's word, when He instructs us to be still, that does not look like giving up. That does not look like just going with the flow. There's something that we have to be doing in the process. So although you're going through it right now, and where it's you much rather just give up and not fight back, you rather just see what happens. That's not a good thing, because when it comes down to, again, we're talking about agriculture, when it comes down to reaping, we have to sow, we have to be in the field, we have to till, we have to nurture, we have to what, like, we have to work within that season of trials, discomfort, and the tribulations in this particular season that we go through. So we can't just give up. I want to encourage you not to give up. God needs you to do something in this season that you're going through. You can't change it. That's in God's hands. But in faith, He still needs you to do something. He still needs you to do something. So where it just, I might well just go with the flow. I might well just give up. I might well just see what happens. Like, your the go through that you're going through, it's not going to produce, or you're not going to yield anything from that other than just the hardship. And you'll be able to say that once it's finally over, man, that was hard. I thought it would never end. I thought it would never be over. But the thing about God, though, when where that season through going through, or the season that you're going through now, if you don't start doing whatever it is that God needs you to do in this season, while you go through this season of hardship, discomfort, it's a possibility that you could go through a season that looks just like it sometime in the future. Whether it was a decision that you made, one or two decisions, or over decisions over a length of time. If you just went through it, you didn't assess, like, is it something that you did that caused you to go through this? Is it decisions that you made that led you here? If you do not assess, if I do not assess, it's a possibility that we can make this same decision, continue making the same decisions over and over again, because we're not assessing, and therefore we are not aware why we're here. We're just looking at why we're going through. We're just looking at the go through and what it feels like and how unfair it is, to where we're blinded to where God is trying to show us you can't do that no more. You can't live like that no more. You can't continue to make those decisions. You can't continue to be around those people. You can't continue to go to those places. So guess what? We're going to, it's a possibility we can continue to make this, because we didn't learn from the mistake that we made, the decision that we made, or we even if we didn't do anything to, he was trying to get something out of us. And sometimes, like, and that it supernaturally happens, but also when we are active and doing whatever it is that he needs us to do in that season, that also produces the growth inside of us that's necessary for what his plan is for our future. So we just went through the go-through for nothing. Marcus, I appreciate you, brother. We just went through the go-through for nothing. So guess what happens? While we're going through the go-through right now, we're considering giving up. The next time we go through, we're going to consider giving up if we don't give up. And no, giving up is a bad habit. Giving up is a bad habit. So much so, we practice this and it becomes a habit. Therefore, it becomes a lifestyle. Why? Because what we practice, we repeat. What we repeat becomes a habit. What we practice and continue to repeat, that habit, it becomes a lifestyle. So we make a lifestyle of quitting and giving up. And when I tell you that is such a bad thing, because we are always going to go through something challenging in our life. Always. We can't escape it. We can't escape it. And because it's inevitable that we're going to go through it, seasons of our life, we need to change our mindset and our perspective of how we look at the trials and everything that we go through. Because once we begin to change our mindset, giving up will no longer be an option. And the mindset will kick in so effectively that we would no longer even consider giving up. That wouldn't even be a thought. Because we understand, like, this is just a season. And then we began to understand, okay, it's a reason why I'm in this. Either I did it, or this is what God did or caused or allowed, rather. So either way it go, I'm going through this for a reason. I need to find out why. If he don't reveal the why yet, first of all, we have to assess our actions. We have to assess our decision making. Like, is it something that we did? But we have to be honest with ourselves. It's so easy to play victim because it's uncomfortable and it sucks that we have to go through it, to a point that we don't face the reality that we got us there. We got us there. And then we get mad at God because he don't get us, he don't make the rain stop. But that's still on us. It's not on him, because he need us to learn. Like, what good is continue to bond somebody out of jail if they keep making the same mistakes? If they keep doing the exact same thing that got them locked up the last 5 times. What is the point of keep bonding them out. It's a waste at that point, right? It's a waste of time. It's a waste of energy. From a human standpoint, it's a waste of money. Like, so why would God continue to bail us out of situations that we continue to get ourselves in if we're not learning from them? So we might have to sit this one out. Not meaning not just sit through it and just go through it. We might have to sit down for a little bit. Obviously that's a jail term. Like, we have to sit down for a little bit and think about our life. We have to think about the decision we've been making. We have to think about our future. We have to think about others who are being affected by it. We have to think about the different things that we have to start doing moving forward to keep us out of these sticky situations. So it's never God's fault. That's on us. Now there are things that He calls. There are some things that He allowed. But it's still, Romans 8:28, it still work out for our good. Because for I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. So guess what? It's going to work out for our good, but He need us going through this difficult season so He can produce the growth. He can produce the development, the maturity, like, so we can be prepared and equipped. Like, it's for our good. But if we're just looking at how uncomfortable it is, how unfair it is, how much it don't feel good, crying ourselves a river, like, we're not getting the why we are here. What He need us to do in that season, we're not producing the results because we have the wrong perspective. We're looking at the storm. We are not looking at that we are in a boat that God has given us to where it's rocky, it's bumpy. But guess what? Like, God told God told Noah to build an ark. Can God create an object He cannot lift? Now, check this out. My man, he created everything in 6 days. He created everything in 6 days simply by speaking it into existence, right? So He spoke it into existence, and there were creation in 6 days. How is it that everything, like everything He created in 6 days is supplying all of our needs today? Thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands, I don't know how many thousands of years later, it's still 6 days supplying all of our needs. So I would consider 1,000% confident, with 1,000% confidence, that there is nothing too heavy for God. Simply. Right? So, with establishing that, no matter what we go through in life, there's nothing. No matter what we experience in life, no matter how hard, how bad it gets, there's nothing that is too great for God as it relates to him delivering us through the storms of life. There's nothing he can't protect us from. So now again, we're looking at the storms, right? God told Noah to build an ark. God told Noah to build an ark because he was going to cause rain to fall where rain has never fell before, and he was going to wipe out everything pretty much because of the sin was so great, and he regretted that he created mankind. So if you think about that, that had to be a great flood. That had to be a great flood to wipe out everything, right? So we look at the storms. We look at the storms that we go through in life. When Peter, as scripture is recorded that Peter asked Jesus when he seen him walking on water, "Is that you?" And he asked, "Can he come out and walk to him?" So he stepped out. Peter stepped out of the boat and walked on water to Jesus. He wasn't focused on the storm. Oftentimes what we focus on. He was focused on Jesus. And he was able to walk on water. The moment he started focusing on the storm, the winds, he started to focus on what was going on around him. He started focusing on the storm, and he began to sink. So when we are faced with the storms in life that we encounter, we focus too much on the storm and not enough on Jesus. It said, fix your sight on the author and the finisher of your faith. Speaking of Jesus Christ in Hebrews. We focus too much on the storm and we begin to sink in our circumstances. We begin to drown in our situation to where we get stressed out, depressed. We begin to give up and just become like super overwhelmed. And it's because we're focusing too much on the storm. And that's what causes us to give up. Maybe we should, yes, the storm, that's our reality. Like, that's the current situation. That's the reality. Can't deny that. Like, we can't act like it's not happening. Right? We focus too much on the problem and not the solution. We focus too much on like the experience that we're going through, dealing with this pain, like with the regret. Like we focus too much on that, opposed to seeing what what Scripture has to say about maybe this particular thing that we're going through, or even the solution. What's your will? Why this? And not to question him. It's just so we can get some type of understanding. And if we're not getting understanding, but like most of all, we need to ask for his wisdom and continue to seek him on it. Continue to seek him about it. Because these storms don't feel good. When I tell you it don't feel good, And they don't feel good because we're focusing a lot on the storms and not enough on the author and the finisher of our faith. So I want to encourage you in this season that you may be going through of hardship, pain, and everything that you are experiencing. I want to encourage you to take a step back, gather yourself, change your perspective of your go through by not zeroing in on how uncomfortable it is or how unfair it is, but do an assessment. Is it something that I did to cause myself to get in this situation? What are the decisions that I've been making lately? Or what are some bad habits that I always tend to experience the consequence from them? Because sometimes it's just our decisions. Sometimes it's just our bad habits. Sometimes it's the people we choose to associate ourselves with. Sometimes it's the environment that we just so fearful of letting go of and pulling back from. We find ourselves in situations over and over and over and over again. We have to make the connection. So what is the connection that you can assess where clearly, obviously, 1 + 1 is equaling 2. These are some things that I'm putting myself. These are things that I'm putting myself in. These are situations that I'm creating and circumstances that I'm bringing on myself. So then we can't undo them, but we can once we once we once we identify that, then we can then start making decisions. But know that, be patient though, because this rainy season, like it don't always stop when, feel me? So be patient in the process and just make sure that we're trying to eliminate those habits and be careful with our decision making moving forward and be consistent with it. And over time, like, you'll find yourself gaining traction, gaining momentum. Then when a storm stops, then you have accrued enough space and time to where things just good things are just happening, like consistently, like just back to back, like we say, when it rains it pours, right? What if that's a good thing too, though, right? So when it's raining it pours, it's like one bad thing after the next, one bad thing after the next, one bad thing after the next. But guess what? Like, it's things that, when it's in our control, like, we created that long before it got here. So now it's just a domino effect. But what if we start being more careful and start doing more good, to where now the domino effect began to happen once the storm is over? But it's all good things that starting to we didn't laid up enough good things for ourselves with the decisions that that we've started making, to where it's like things is just going like great, like day after day after day after day after day after day after day. Make sense? So be patient. So just make sure you continue to do the good. Make sure you continue to being careful with the decisions that you're making. Make sure that you're being strategic and intentional by the moves that you're making moving forward. That way, once the storm is over, the domino effect will occur. But even when things begin to go good, continue to sow in the good. Continue to sow in the good. That way, because regardless, the storms are going to come. You've stored in enough good. You've laid such a solid foundation. You've created such good to where you're prepared and equipped to go through whatever storms that's going to come. Where you may feel it a bit, it won't take you out the game because you've sowed in enough good. Like, does this make sense? Does this make sense? But just be patient in the process. Be patient in the process. Your good will come. But know that giving up is never an option. Because when we give up, it only gets worse. When we give up, it doesn't get better. When we choose not to do what we have to do our part, there's no good that's going to come from that. Especially when it comes down to when God needs us to do something in the process, throughout that process. Are you going to get discouraged at times? Most definitely. What I will say though, to eliminate you experiencing more of that or feeling the full impact from that, is by not focusing on the storm in which that you are going through. Don't focus so much on the storm. The more you focus on the storm, the more we focus on the storm, the more we are going to feel the wrath of that storm. So just a few things to consider. But no, this season that you're going through or that you're going to go through, know that it's going to come and know that it's going to go. What you can't do is give up in the process and you'll be all right. All right. So that's what I have. If you just now tuning in, start it over, share this out, and no more considering giving up. Let's train and program our minds to not only not focus on the storm and the impact of what we're going through, but also to see past the storm. Because sometimes when we see past the storm, like, we'll be okay in the process to where we can focus on the things that we need to do that's going to help us get through the storm. But also we'll be able to know what decisions we need to make in this process that's going to further help us to be consistent and getting closer and closer and closer and closer through the storm. All right, just a couple practical things that I hope that it will help you in your season of go through, whether now or in the future. All right, so that's all I have. If you guys are good, or if you, the one person that's here, if you good, you don't have any questions, um, no need prayer or anything like that. I'm gonna go ahead and let you get to your beautiful Saturday. All right. Are you good? Give me a yay. Let me know you good. You good? Anyone? You good? You good? Are you good? Going once? Going twice? All right. You guys be good, and know it's just a part of the process, whatever you go through. All right. Learn from it and know that, man, when you say I'm going through it, that means you're not there to stay. You're going through it. You're going through it. You're going through it. Make sure you continue to do your part to move forward. So you going through it, it will be over sooner than later. All right. Be encouraged. I love y'all. Much love. Peace.